Well, today the Supreme Court modified its controversial August 11th order on relocating stray dogs in Delhi-NCR, addressing widespread protests from animal welfare groups. The new ruling, delivered by a three-judge bench led by Justice Vikram Nath, allows stray dogs to be picked up for sterilization and immunization, but mandates their release back to their original locations, except for those with rabies or aggressive behavior, which must remain in shelters. The court also directed the Municipal Corporation of Delhi to create designated feeding areas in municipal wards, banning public feeding of strays outside these zones, with legal consequences for violators. A helpline will be established to report violations, and animal lovers can apply to adopt dogs. The scope of the case has been expanded pan-India, with notices issued to states, union territories and animal husbandry departments to ensure compliance with animal birth control rules. All related High Court petitions will now be transferred to the Supreme Court for a final policy. Critics, including animal rights activists, welcome the modified order as more humane though concerns remain about defining aggressive dogs and shelter infrastructure. The matter is listed for further hearing in 8 weeks. Mr. Vaibhav Mishra, advocate on record, Supreme Court, is joining us on the program. Vaibhav, appreciate you joining us. Obviously, this order is toned down from the previous one, which to many, especially animal lovers, was aggressive, inhumane, and would have resulted in the suffering of dogs all over the country. What do you make of this toning down of the order that has come about? Does that solve the problem of stray dogs in our country?
No, I think this order is in the right way and the right approach. When we had filed the petition, we had specifically said that the 11th August order is in contravention of early Supreme Court orders. So there was a very dichotomy situation. Earlier orders of the Supreme Court in 2024 and 2022 have specifically said that the ABC rules of 2023 have to be followed. And the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act 1960 also has to be followed. So even if there's a case of a rabies issue or an aggressive dog there, that has to be dealt with according to the law. Now, unfortunately, the 11th August order was going against everything held earlier. So this was more of a constitutional issue apart from the emotional issue and moral issues which were pertaining in the case at hand. So when the three-judge bench heard on the 14th of August last week, we put forward all the issues, and we also in the petition mentioned that rabies issue is a very prevalent one, and we had dealt with and how it is to be dealt with. We mentioned that also, but I have a very simple example in this. Like there are various news reports that 700 or 500 or 1,000 dogs were picked up after the 11th August order. If 700, 500 dogs can be picked up after the 11th August order, those 500, 700 dogs could have easily been sterilized and vaccinated and dewormed also. So what was the need to pick them up and then just leave them in the shelter home, pounds, or as per some reports in some far-flung areas from where they might never be relocated also. But today's order specifically clarifies that if you pick up a dog, you would sterilize the dog, you dewormize and immunize and vaccinate, and then you put it back from where you picked it up. So it will, in a way, it's a right step. The fight against the rabies issue is a big one, and we do not undermine that aspect as well. But I think this will tackle the aggressive dog issue as well, because there are a lot of cases when there is no rabies, but there's an aggressive dog attacking people involved. So that has been taken care of in this order as well. But the order of 11th August, where it was, with all due respect, was a bit haphazard one, where all dogs in Delhi-NCR region were to be removed and kept in shelter home, where there is no shelter home, even if there is, whether that has the capacity to inculcate all these dogs or not, was a big question. That has been taken care of in today's order.
Let's also talk about, this is not an issue related just with dogs on the streets and, the apathy that has come about. Vaibhav, this is also about how the MCD and how the state and center need to up their game when it comes to a strategic system of handling stray dogs. You talk about shelters, these shelters are not good enough. There are about 10 to 14 lakh dogs in Delhi-NCR. I don't think there is any shelter which can accommodate even more than 500 stray dogs at this point in time. So obviously there needs to be a directive towards infrastructure that needs to be created for dogs, like you have in Western countries, where if you want to adopt a stray, you walk into the shelter and you pick it up, and that's your responsibility then.
In fact, today's order addresses both these issues, that once there are effective shelter homes and dog take care homes, then only you can pick them up. If there is not enough capacity-based shelter homes or pounds or homes as per se, then I think picking up would be an issue itself. And it's a question against the MCD authorities also, that where would they keep these dogs, at ABC centers or shelter homes, or pound centers. And the second issue, that whether a dog lover or animal welfare organization can adopt these dogs. That how has been addressed in today's order, that they are more than welcome to adopt any dogs, but they should not. They should ensure that these dogs are not again placed on the streets again. Once you adopt a particular dog, you take full responsibility. That's also one of the reasons why I think the petition, or today's order, states that whoever is involved in this matter has to pay 25,000 per person, and if it's an NGO, then I think it's 2 lakhs or 1 lakh, something around that figure. But I think it's a decent thing that you put your money where your mouth is. You should take some responsibility also, and I think this order balances both approaches. That any person involved should take some responsibility, and including the MCD, who should take responsibility. And if I may say, had issued an order or circular on the 19th of August, complying with 11th August order of picking up all stray dogs, where they very well knew that there's a three-judge bench hearing the Supreme Court, in the Supreme Court, against the 11th August order, and the order was reserved on stay, with the stays to be given out. Yet they issued a circular on 19th August of picking up all stray dogs, following the 11th August order, which we had mentioned earlier, yesterday itself. But since the order was to come today, it was not allowed. Anyways, this order takes care of that as well. So I think it's a responsibility. It has to be commutative, cohesive effort, not only by the authorities but the animal welfare groups also, to ensure that sterilization, vaccination, immunization, and deworming takes place of all stray dogs. And if there's any aggressive dog which is there in the community, that should be taken care of according to the ABC rules. And the feeding part, that's another important thing which is taken in today's order. It has to be a demarcated area in a colony, in an area where dogs can be fed. You cannot feed them anywhere you like, because again, that just uh, increases the problem, doesn't solve the problem. So I think it's a cohesive effort, but this order makes a joint effort of everyone, including the MCD authorities and the animal welfare groups and individuals involved in this entire system.
All right. Web, I appreciate you joining us. Thank you for that perspective and clarity.